Good afternoon from AlphaCars. My name is Tom, coming to you from our Northampton location, and today we're going to be taking a look at this 2021 Audi A8 L. This A8 is currently showing just over 51,000 original miles, and if you would like to see a high-resolution, detailed photo set, please reference the listing at alphacars.com. There, of course, you will also find a free included Carfax report, alongside a long list of technical data related to the vehicle's remaining tire and brake life, as well as individual readings from each panel using our paint depth gauge. But today I'll take you on a quick condition overview around both the interior and the exterior, and there's tons to go over. And we'll also show you some of the more notable features. So starting here on the exterior, you'll find it finished in a really cool paint scheme with this two-tone black and white look all over the vehicle. This white paint is in fantastic condition. It's hard to see because we don't have a ton of direct light, but the paint has held up very, very nicely. I always move really close to the panel so as to look for any dings, dents, or scratches anywhere down the side of the vehicle. We passed that S-line badge there on the front fender, giving this car a little bit more of a sporty appearance. And all the way to the rear, this side of the vehicle looks absolutely fantastic. Now looking at these wheels, a gorgeous design, very intricate. You can see a two-tone finish with that gloss black on the interior of the spokes as well as the barrel, and then the outer face is that nice machined metal, and that back wheel is in just about perfect condition. Same goes here for the front, very, very good shape. You can see much bigger brakes hiding behind the wheel up here at the front. And it's a gorgeous wheel setup for this car, and I think that silver and black matches very nicely with the white and black we see as we move to the front fascia here. First off, headlights have a gorgeous design. You can see lots of silver accents inside, giving it a pretty cool, intricate look. And both headlight lenses are crystal clear, showing no signs of oxidation or discoloration. You can see this big front grille with the black optics package. Instead of where you'd usually find chrome, you're finding all of this piano black, and that includes in the Audi logo itself, which is just an awesome look here at the front. You can see the black chin splitter that runs all the way across the bumper cover is free of any chips, and same goes for the bumper cover itself. Zero issues to report here. It all presents very, very nicely here in the front. And now we move on to the passenger side, where we'll find another wheel in very, very good condition here. Again, going really close to the body. Making our way down the entire passenger side of the vehicle, we'll also find it to be in just fantastic shape. Looking here at the back wheel, again, perfect shape. Looks lovely. And you'll notice a couple of small things, one being on the edges of these doors. You may have seen that and wondered if that was an imperfection, but it's actually paint protection film that runs all the way down the outer edge of all four doors on the vehicle. So that's not actually an issue with the paint, it's just the PPF doing its job and absorbs any small little impacts and saves your paint when those doors swing wide and perhaps bump into something. And finally, here we're at the back of the vehicle. Again, where you'd usually find that chrome trim, we have this beautiful piano black setup, connecting each each taillight on both the driver and the passenger side with that nice trim and the thin light bar between them. You also have your Audi rings and A8 long wheelbase badges. They're all finished in black. And on the lower portion of the rear bumper, we have some more black trim as well as quad exhausts flanking that nice white diffuser panel below. Lastly, a full glass panel roof, and we'll explore why that's so cool once we make our way inside. But next up, let's take a look inside, and this is really where the magic happens. When we're talking about an A8, it's really about what goes on in the vehicle rather than the outside. So starting off very quickly here, looking at the seat condition, this driver's seat is in awesome shape. And we'll waste no time hopping inside the beautiful interior. Take a listen to all the road noise as these trucks and things move past us. And listen as I close the door, everything falls silent. Extremely quiet here in the A8 long wheelbase. So I'll waste no time firing it up with my start-stop button there. Extremely smooth engine. I didn't capture it on camera as you hear the welcome noise, but those tweeters just rose from the dash, as you can see. I'll shut it down one more time so you can see these in action. See, as I open the door, they fall away. And as I fire up the vehicle again, they rise out of the dashboard. Very, very cool. So now looking all throughout the interior, there's lots to get to here, so I'll try to pick some of the highlights. First off, steering wheel controls look fantastic. You have gear selector panels for that 8-speed transmission just behind each side of the wheel. This is fitted with Audi's virtual cockpit gauge cluster, so using these left controls I can cycle through various different menus. Like here we have some vehicle information and regular driving information. Popping over we have media, we've got mobile phone, and we have navigation. But as you may know, if I push this view button, it minimizes the gauges and expands that center screen, and that's relevant for all menus, which is a really nice way to customize your driving experience while also keeping every bit of information you need just ahead of you so as to not be looking too often down and to the right. And that also extends to this heads-up display. If you see it flickering, that's only due to the camera. Here in person, it's absolutely perfect. But the virtual cockpit is a lovely feature, and it fits very nicely here in the A8. Now looking across the dashboard, of course we mentioned those very cool Bang & Olufsen tweeters. You could see the leather stitched dashboard looks lovely all the way across. We have some climate vents and some nice silver trim that blends beautifully with the door cards on either side. If I clear this little welcome message here, we have our home screen where there's tons of different menus and interesting things to get to. The first thing I'll show you is the camera situation. So here, of course, you have your reverse camera, that's to be expected. And to the right, you have your top-down view, which is also cool. But if you hit this little 3D camera button, we see a 3D model of an Audi A8 long wheelbase that I can cycle around and view my parking space in real time and see exactly how I'm lined up. And it's all very, very accurate. It's a very cool feature that I think you'll see coming into more cars. But of course, this being a 2021, Audi was ahead of the game on that. I think they might have been some of the first. If I go into vehicle settings, I can select my different drive modes in here, as well as a switch that we'll get to in a moment. And in my individual settings, I can customize the entire driving experience, how I want the engine to feel, how I want the suspension to feel, and how I want the steering to feel. So it's all very cool to have customization in your sporty luxury car such as this. Now, if I go to seats, you'll find the massaging seats menu appears. I don't mind if I do. And then if I scroll over, we have the passenger seat as well. I also have my cooled seat running at the moment, but I could have a heated seat as well if I so choose. Now looking a bit lower here, climate control screen, all looks very nice. It's nice to see a manufacturer that used two of the same screen with the same modern technology. I've seen some manufacturers where one screen looks great and the other one's a couple years outdated. This just looks absolutely perfect and cohesive all the way throughout. A couple of controls just up here. Can power down my screens for a more minimal look. I can also power my sunshades, but we'll cover that once we get to the back. We also have our heated and cooled seats, various other functions here along the bottom, my drive mode selection that I mentioned before, start stop button and media controls, as well as parking and safety controls. And that brings us here to our kind of center console area with my gear selector with this nice leather pad. It's very simple and easy to use and has a great feel. Underneath this piano black cover trimmed in chrome, I do have some cup holders and a power outlet. And then just under here, I have two adjustable armrests with a ton of storage underneath. You'll also note on those beautiful door cards, you do have storage pockets on either side here, revealing just a little bit of extra space to keep some small belongings. And just above my head, we find the massive sunroof panel and another one just there in the back. But as I mentioned, we're going to cover this stuff more in the second row of seating. But before we get there, let's go take a quick look under the hood and see what powers the Audi A8. I'll meet you there. All right, so now we're here under the hood of the A8 long wheelbase. Now available on this vehicle are two powertrains. You have the V6, which is a lovely engine, but here we have the big dog. We have the V8 bi-turbo 4-liter engine. It's absolutely stunning, producing around 453 horsepower and just under 480 pound-feet of torque, which is a monstrous figure. And it's not only that, it's also delivered extremely smoothly, because what good is a lot of power if it's all jerky and aggressive? When you're buying a luxury car to really sit back and enjoy the drive, enjoy the ride, this engine absolutely does not interfere with that. It's extremely smooth, but it's also a bit of a rocket ship, if I'm honest, and it is phenomenal. I've always loved Audi A8s for years, and this one is no exception. Now looking around the actual kind of condition of our engine bay, it's extremely clean and well kept. As you can see lots of the motor. You can see right down the front there. Everything presents beautifully here. Plastic panels, reservoirs are crystal clear. And it's actually relatively clean under here. There's not a whole lot of loose wires and hoses. It's all very tidy from Audi directly, which is very nice. Now dropping this down, let's get to what's really exciting to me on this vehicle, which is the second row of seating. This is where it gets pretty cool. So opening up the massive rear door, it's worth mentioning, when you see that little L badge, that is the long wheelbase version, and all of that extra length is added to that rear door. And looking at it proportionally compared to the front door, just look at how massive that rear door is. That is what you're getting with that long wheelbase package. And just take a look at the amount of legroom. Now, that driver's seat, I'm not joking, is exactly where I would comfortably drive the vehicle. It's 6'4". That is plenty of space to drive this car comfortably. And look at the amount of room here for the second row. Now, before I hop in, take a look at these door cards. Extremely nice materials used here. Looking at the seat condition, they look just perfect here in the back. But now hopping inside, again, 6'4", and I could sit in front of myself and have still more room to spare. I mean, it's absolutely remarkable how much room you're given here in the back. Now, this passenger seat is in a very relaxed driving or riding position, and as you can see, still ample legroom for any adult. Above my head, I probably have a good 4 inches above my head, maybe 3. It's very comfortable here in the back of the A8 long wheelbase. So, a couple of really cool features. I'll work my way up to the really cool ones. Taking a look here, we do have these sunshades, which are completely automatic. I control them via this switch pack here. I can control mine. I can control the side next to me. And they're fully automatic, so with one touch I can raise both. As you can see, that looks great. Now, looking just ahead of me here, using another switch, I can operate the front sunshade for the sunroof. I can also operate the one just above my head here. So I can fully control the comfort for the rear occupants just from this one switch pack, which is lovely. Now we'll open those up to show the full operation. Above both my head and my passenger to the right, we have illuminated mirrors, which is a great feature. Just behind me, you'll see yet another sunshade, fully controllable from this switch pack. Drops down smoothly and almost silently, and then extends right back up with another push of the button. Now, here's what I was waiting for, because this is quite cool. This little armrest here, usually you drop these down and you have an armrest and maybe a cup holder. But let's drop this one down and see where it's a bit different. Dropping this armrest down, you'll find an entire suite of controls available for your second row occupants. Just had to drop that down, latch it into place. You can see here our passenger seat sitting nice and comfortable, but take a look when I use these fully power adjustable seats. That seat reclines extremely far. I mean, look at this. Tons of legroom, tons of headroom. I'm reclined. Now, if I want to adjust my headrest with that nice pillowy headrest, I can. And I could drop that right back down. And then slide it back into place. I can individually just recline. I can slide the whole seat, as you can see. It is a fully customizable experience here for your rear occupants, and that's extremely rare to find in the back of a car such as this. Now, taking a look just above it, we have a screen here with our climate controls. Very cool. I have heated and cooled seats here for my second row occupants. I have seat controls here. As you can see, I have massaging seats here in the back. It's a lovely place to be. You can control your media, your lighting, just about every function that screen up front can control. This one can control also, but let's say it's a little bit awkward to, reach all the way over there to see this tablet and make controls. I just couldn't be asked to reach right there. Well, I've got this little button. Now, it is low on battery because it was unplugged briefly while the vehicle is being cleaned. However, look at this. Don't drop it. As you can see, this is a tablet that's fully wirelessly connected to the vehicle, and I can still make all of my adjustments while sitting here enjoying the view out my window, however I may choose to enjoy the back of the vehicle. And then when I'm done, drop it in here, gently push it down, and you'll find it finds its home nicely and is now charging. Just an amazing feature that I personally have never seen in the back seat of a vehicle, though I did know that it was fitted to this car back when this new A8 model came out. As you can see, I'm just going to pop the trunk here. key is in my pocket. I believe I left it locked. So, still with all of that customization, massive trunk space here in the back, extremely spacious. We do have all-weather floor mats here, as well as a full all-weather mat covering the trunk floor. And then with one-touch operation, I'm going to drop down that trunk and it'll soft close into place. So I know that's very loaded, but we still have a lot more we could go over on this vehicle, but I encourage you to come check it out for yourself. If you would like any more information about this A8L, please reference the listing at alphacars.com, and there you'll find all the relevant contact information. Thank you so much for your time, and have a wonderful rest of your day. We hope to hear from you soon. Thank you from AlphaCars.